Hey everyone.
Hey bag ladies and bag dudes, I'm Sara Lawson from So Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Ask Sara, my weekly Q&A chat. Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us for Ask Sara. If you're new around here, this is my husband Danny.
Hey everyone.
He provides all the technical support. He films our videos.
I do pretty much everything.
No.
All of it.
No. The smaller amount of work out of the pair of us, but only slightly smaller. Like I would say,
Sara does way more work.
I would say you're 49% to my 51%. How's that?
That's very generous of you. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much for joining us for Ask Sara. The schedule for tonight is we're going to talk about a few things, and then I'll be answering questions live at the end of the chat. So if you have a question for me, either sewing related, about bag making, about a certain tool, save your questions and ask them near the end of the chat, and Danny's going to put them up on the screen and I'll answer some questions live. So I don't know why, but I was thinking about failure earlier today. Maybe because my writing lesson was some weeks is closer to failure than others, but I was just thinking about failure in regards to sewing as well. And I know I've mentioned this before on the show in the past, but I've written 2 books in the past. My third to be book was rejected, and that was in 2016. It seems like just yesterday, but 2016 was already almost 3 years ago now. My idea for the third book ended up being what eventually was the Minikins, so the Minikins bundle from last year. And it was funny because I still remember after I turned in the proposal for my third book, I saw my book editor in person at a trade show, and I mentioned to her, that I turned in the proposal and I was really excited about it. And in hindsight, hindsight always makes a big difference, but in hindsight, she seemed like she kind of sort of wanted to get away quickly and really didn't want to answer me fully about the proposal, and it was probably because she already knew that it was not going to go through. So well, thank goodness it did not go through, because the Minikins have done really well for us, and without the Minikins, Danny would not be working with me full time. And the more Danny there is, the more videos that we get to do. So that's a really good thing. I was looking on our website the other day. Danny's been uploading the new Minikin Season 2 videos as we get them filmed and edited. And it's a specific website that we use for hosting these videos. And we have 44 videos in there now. So that means 44 paid videos that we sell. Of course, we have the live shows, and we have all of our free videos and tutorials. Those are on the YouTube channel, but I was shocked that the number was so high. It doesn't feel like we've done 44 videos in the last year and a half, has it?
No, it does not.
It feels like, I don't know, maybe 15, but wow, 44 is such a big difference. And so the moral of the story, I guess, is failure is just the universe steering you in another direction. So I kind of like to think of it that way.
They always say, one path closes, another one opens.
Yeah.
Or one door closes, another one opens.
And, failure is nothing to get down on yourself about. Just, pivot and go in another direction. Another thing kind of tying in with failure that I was thinking about today also is that comparison is the enemy of progress. So a couple years ago, I had this...
That's deep.
Well, I don't know why I was thinking that today.
Where'd you get that one from?
I don't know. A couple years ago, I had a really huge problem of comparing myself to other sewing pattern designers. And you know this. We've talked about this in the past. And it was like, at this one period in my life, it was all that I could think about and all that I could talk about, well, privately with Danny at least. And before I go any further with that, I just wanted to say there's no need to make me feel better in the comments by saying, so-and-so is better than so-and-so. We don't need to, let's keep it positive around here. But I was really having a tough time comparing myself to other people that were doing similar jobs as me. I would see things on social media, oh my gosh, like, look at their home and how much work they're getting done, how many patterns they're putting out, and I really like their pattern better than mine, and comparing myself. It must have been like a few months. It was a certain period in time where I was having a rough time, and because I was always comparing myself to these other people, specific other people, I wasn't getting any work done because I was frozen in this moment of time where I was telling myself I wasn't good enough. And the thing about me is whenever I'm in like a funk, I can't tell myself, I know in my head, you are good enough, just keep working and it'll be fine. no matter how much I tell myself that, I can't force myself out of the funk. I just have to sort of work through it, let enough time pass that I can get through it, and then it's fine, like not a big deal. I sort of heard you laughing. Did you have anything to add to that, or?
No, I just remember Gary Vee was saying something like one of your greatest successes come after your greatest fails. Not saying you had to fail, but there's always a silver lining to every cloud.
That's a good point. And Gary Vee is just a marketing guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, that we both follow on social media. Yep. And anyway, I'm friends with tons of pattern designers, so there's no issue there. It was just a personal thing with me where I was just telling myself that I wasn't good enough, and it's really not true. So
I should probably stop saying that to you then.
He really doesn't. He's joking. just in case you didn't catch that. But I've learned to compete with myself, meaning learning as I go and stepping up based on my learning. So I don't know everything in regards to sewing. I'm learning new things all the time. When people email me on a daily basis suggesting things. Have you heard about this thing? Someone emailed me the other day. I can't remember if it was Jeanette. Sorry if I'm not remembering the name. But she was showing me this particular fabric and asked if I'd used it before. And I said no, but she said it would be really great for a bag. And it got my wheels turning about like, oh, that would be a really neat new thing to try. Or just stuff like that. There's always a learning process. And I can always find better ways to do things. And I guess the last thing I have to say about that is you do you. You do you. Only you can do you. So
sure.
Another I wanted to give like a real life example of that. There was a lovely bag lady at our last retreat in September. Her name was Christine. And at the retreat, she was working on, when we were working on the satellite bag, she was working on her bag, and it was a variety of different mediums. So she was telling me that she made a lot of bags with feed sacks. The satellite bag, part of it, just a small part, not the whole thing, was made with an army blanket, like a vintage army blanket. The flap of the bag, I believe, was like a painted canvas. So like all mixed materials. And I think if someone had told me this list of materials that they were making a bag with, I'd just think in my head, oh, I don't know, that just sounds, I'm just not sure how to place that in terms of thinking about how the finished bag will look. But honestly, as she was putting her bag together, and especially when she finished it, I saw the vision, and it was a piece of art. And I also noticed while she was working on it how carefully she worked on each feature of the bag, and they were all different, and it came out amazing. So that's just my example of you do you. Only you can do you, and don't try to be like anybody else. I need to take my own advice there, but Pat says you do you. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Just in case.
What a profound thoughts to start the show off.
It relates to sewing and bag making as well.
No, it's good advice. It's good to think. You don't always want to be have the same train of thought. It's always good to be creative and critically think about different subjects and how you can improve and what you've done in the past and what you're going to do in the future. And it's funny. I was watching a show, and it was about athletes, and they said one of the few things athletes don't talk about is mental health. And getting a sports psychologist really helps a ton, because your biggest worry and complaint is yourself. If you're talking to yourself in your head, you're second guessing yourself, you're questioning yourself. Should you do this? Should you not do that? And it's the same thing in your situation where you're your own worst enemy, sort of. And it, until you figure out a way to, what's going on and why it's going on, then you start to figure out what you can do to improve it. And it's always good to think creatively. And I say creatively when I really think like critically, like just think about it for a minute. And I think it's interesting because I didn't see your outline, and
I just kind of
threw me for a loop. I should probably read it next time.
Well, you're pretty quick at the draw and jumping in with stuff. But yeah, social media is hard too, because when you see stuff on Facebook or Instagram, everyone's life just looks so wonderful, and you don't know the backstory of their struggles, and I don't know. Yeah. All right. Thank you. I see a lot of encouraging comments coming through, so thank you very much.
They love your shirt too, by the way.
Oh yeah, I have a sewing machine shirt on today, so to speak. It's a quilt shop in Ohio.
Columbus,
Ohio. All right. So your favorite part of the show, or at least on Tuesday, your second favorite part of the show, we're going to ask all the bag ladies and bag dudes to let us know in the comments. So go ahead and type that right now, bag lady or bag dude. And we super love the supportive community. There's another sew along going on in the Facebook group for the dash bag. So that's just part of the community, but just the supportive comments that come through, we really appreciate it. And I don't know. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, 100%. Can't say it more. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so just a reminder, in the past on Tuesdays, we've done Instagram live shows right before the Facebook and YouTube. As of last week, we made an announcement on the last week's Instagram live, but for now we've discontinued the Instagram live. And also, I'm sad to say, we've also, just because we are trying to change things up and have really exciting offerings for you as far as our live shows go, but we're temporarily, or, well, for now, we're going to cancel the first Friday shows as well. It was just, as far as family life goes, it was just a little challenging. We have no plans to discontinue our Sunday or Tuesday shows, but it was just a little hard juggling with the kids and having an actual dinner on certain nights. So in place of those two things that we're discontinuing, hopefully really, really soon, for the live shows, we'd like to have one-on-one interviews. So I'll have fabric designers, pattern designers, bag ladies and bag dudes from the group. I just feel, knowing my personality and knowing myself, I do better with more of a one-on-one, or me with two guests, like what we had on Sunday with Michelle and Bronwyn. I'm just more pulled together when it's that situation rather than 25 other people. So I just, not being critical of myself, but I just saw my strengths, and I thought that the interviews would be pretty exciting. So we'll let you know when those are happening and what kind of guests we'll have on those. And again, we plan for those to be learning experience as well. So not just a straight up interview, but what can my guests share with you as far as cool sewing ideas, notions, things like that. So I'm really excited about that. And that'll be coming on soon for the live shows.
That's what's great about what we do, honestly, is we could pivot and, try something different out and, keep trying different stuff and see what feels right and what works well. So we're still new to this, it's been a little over a year, and, we're making progress and learning as we go.
All right. You want to do your pick of the week now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have a new graduate, and her name is Donna Green, and she snuck on stage an Appaloosa bag during her graduations. Congratulations to you, Donna.
This was in Birmingham in the UK, and this photo was posted in the Facebook group. So it was really exciting seeing that Appaloosa bag there,
yep.
And big congratulations. That's awesome.
I'll give you a pat in the back. Good job, Donna.
All right, so if you enjoy our live videos, we'd like to invite you to share this sewing video with your other sewing friends. If you're watching on Facebook, you can go ahead and hit the share button right now. Regardless, either if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can hit the little picture of the thumbs up, which is the like button. The likes and shares help us out so much because Facebook and YouTube look very kindly on videos with likes and shares, and they consider sharing our videos with other people that have similar interests, which would be sewing, but might not have seen our videos before. So thank you so much for doing that. We really, really appreciate it. So just a few more days, Minikin Season 2 is coming out on...
As Michelle reminds us daily with her countdown in the Facebook group.
October 31st is when Minikin Season 2 is coming out. And I have the second to last sneak peek for you tonight. So I have to admit, I was planning on showing you a different version. Not that it's different, but it was just yesterday we filmed the video for this is called the Turnpike Convertible wallet. So this is the third wallet out of the 3 that are in Minikin Season 2. And then this morning I actually realized I couldn't show you that particular one because it's in fabric that is not out yet and has not been shown on social media yet. So most of our Minikin Season 2 videos were filmed using a brand new, an upcoming Tula Pink fabric. She did reveal on her social media that it's called Pinkerville, so I can tell you that at least. But so I could not show you that one, but I can show you my original 2 prototypes. So here's the very first one that I made. Again, this is called the Turnpike Convertible wallet. So as you can see, it's got this strap right here. Let me show you what it looks like on the inside. So I've got my cell phone on the inside. There's space for credit cards. There's a little zipper pocket for either receipts or cash. And what do you think, looking at this in person, the spot for the cell phone? I have a relatively big cell phone. Would you say there's extra room for if someone has an even bigger cell phone than mine, or?
Yeah, I could put like a full finger
Maybe
in front
an
of behind it.
Maybe an extra inch or something.
And it's definitely thick enough.
Okay,
so.
yeah. So there's my cell phone in
there. I can't see a phone not fitting. There's certain phone cases, and OtterBox is one of them comes to mind, where the older style ones, they put a ton of padding around the case. Here's the same phone Sarah has. They're the Pixel 2 XL, so it's a really long, it's a large phone. And some cases go really crazy, and they have a cover for it, and that might be challenging for it. But overall, I don't see it being an issue.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of room in there. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that whole cell phone area. And another cool feature with this project is that the reason that it's called the convertible wallet is that the strap is detachable. So there's snaps on both the snap and on the inner portion of the wallet. So you can take them out.
The wallet and the strap, because you said there's snaps on the snap.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
We'll watch this back just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure you said
sometimes, because it's really hot in here, and sometimes when all the lights are aimed at me, like I lose my train of thought sometimes, I guess you could say. So anyway, that's the Turnpike convertible wallet, the third wallet of, well, the 3 wallets. I showed the other 2 previously on some of our Sunday shows, but
someone said a tablet might fit in there. And, if you have like a 7-inch or smaller tablet, it possibly could fit. But your book reader might fit in there. Like your Kindle.
In here?
Yeah, the snap part. Too
really?
narrow?
No,
Maybe
no,
it's wider.
No.
Yeah,
No.
You're right.
I was like, wow. All right.
Did you guys wear? No, we didn't plan to wear the same color shirt. Sarah did notice it again after I put mine on.
Oh.
Total coincidence.
Snaps. Christina says, I would say snaps on snaps.
2 snaps up.
All right.
From the old TV show. Do you remember that one?
No, I don't.
It was in living color.
All right, so let's get some questions on the screen. If you have a question for me in regards to sewing, bag making, or about a tool, let me know and I'll answer in the comments. I also wanted to say, since next Tuesday's show is right before Halloween, I think I'm going to wear my Halloween costume on next Tuesday's show, so I'm pretty excited about that.
In the comments, guess what do you think Sarah's going to be for Halloween? That's going to be interesting. I'd love to see what everyone thinks she'll pull out of her bag of tricks.
It could be anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I'd love to see what people think you'd wear. It'd be interesting, their viewpoint.
One of Violet's guesses was the mom from Incredibles, the cartoon where she wears the spandex suit. I'm not sure if I'd be quite that brave to wear
an all spandex something from
suit.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll see.
Who knows?
Renee says, how strong are those snaps? Any risk of it coming apart while on the go? So the snaps on this project are, I used cam snaps. You can also use pearl snaps, which are oftentimes metal. According to the pattern, there's a little bit of extra interfacing on the insides to kind of stabilize the snap areas. So, yeah, should not have any worry about ripping the snap out.
Some people mention, I think it was Nikki said, am I old enough to remember it in living color? Yes, I am. I remember Damon Wayans, all the brothers, and Jim Carrey was on it. And
oh, yeah.
Fire Marshal Bill, and it was a great show.
I remember watching that.
Someone asked about interchangeable interfacings.
Okay. Do you remember kind of vague? Can you paraphrase the question?
No, I'm looking for it right now.
It got pushed down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
These comments are going crazy. I love the Elvira for Halloween if Sarah would dress up as that. Sarah, how'd you come up with your names for your bags for the Minikins too?
For the Minikins,
I'll just go to the Minikins or whatever you want to talk about.
Just in general, I usually take either street names near the area where we live, song titles, places in Chicago, like often concert venues. As far as Minikin Season 2, a lot of the names for the patterns are specific to what exactly it is. I was trying to be mindful of hashtags on social media, and you can't just call something, like for example, I have the one pattern coming out called sewing. It's just called Sewing Room Stand. And I saw a suggestion to actually put like a name in front of that and then Sewing Room Stand. But like if you look at that in regards to hashtags, say if I named it, I don't know, like Cumberland Sewing Room Stand, like that's so long. So I just called it sewing room stand. Virginia says, I think she'll be one of the ladies from that cool Tula Pink fabric. Oh, that would be a really good idea. I never would have thought of that. Thanks for the suggestion for next year.
I think her first one, was it called Charmed or the first like Halloween style fabric?
Oh, Nightshade, yes.
Nightshade, yeah.
Lauren says, fabric recommendations for interfacing less linings.
That's
maybe like a satin or silk type lining or sateen maybe. When I say that, Christy from Love You So made an airplane bag a few years ago, and I saw this bag in person, and she used like a hot pink. I think she said it was actually silk lining, and it looked really cool on the inside. I don't know if she used the interfacing on it or not. I'd have to hazard a guess no, but that's a possibility. Charlie says, not exactly bag related, but my hands dry out when I work with fabric. Do you have a hand cream that you like? So, I don't have a specific brand. It's not in the room right now. Lately, I've been using the, I think the brand is called Everyone. I buy it on Amazon. I use their hand cleaner and their hand soap. But they use essential oils and I like in their products, and I like that fact. I don't feel like it moisturizes better than any other hand lotion, but I've used Walgreens brand in the past. That's the one I had before that one. But if anyone has a really good idea for hand lotions, let me know in the comments, because I have this, I think it's like a worry spot like on my pinky, but it's like really, it's like almost rubbed raw.
It looks like a callus.
Okay. But I know it's from nerves. Like, I just know. I just know it's because I've been nervous lately in the last couple weeks.
If you rub something, that's how you form a callus, Sarah.
Yeah, I know, but I think I'm rubbing it because I'm nervous. Oh,
you mentioned that a few times.
Did I mention I'm nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have a really good lotion, let me know in the comments. Daniel will watch for that one. Marguerite says, can you tell me the zipper length on the essential oil case in Minikin Season 2? I don't remember. I know it's right here, sitting right here. Oh. I'd have to hazard a guess and say it was 30 inches for this one. Wanda says, are you still going to do a quilt block of the month? Yes, not till next year. Plans are happening behind the scenes. I don't have a month or a date yet for that announcement, but that'll be a free quilt along on via video also, so on YouTube, and I'm not sure about our live shows, but for sure on YouTube. Beth says, are there any different types of interfacing used with the Minikins too? I have fusible fleece, foam, and SF101, and the really stiff Pellon. Do I need to look for others? I think you got all four kinds that I used. I did use fusible fleece. The wallets, I did use the fusible fleece on in combination with either Peltex or Decoville Heavy. Just I made some of the wallets originally in foam, and it was just, I felt like it was a bit of overkill. But yeah, the SF101 always. I'm pretty sure those are the only four kinds. Do you remember?
No.
Elizabeth Ann says, I made another bag this week with your faux leather and quilted it. It came out gorgeous. I'm going to need more. I'm so happy you liked it. I really like using it a lot too.
Honestly, I love when that leather is quilted. Katie Baker comes to mind, but the top grain leather, I don't know if Katie Baker's used before, for Mars at least. But I love the look it has on it when you get that, if you have a nice interfacing where it like puffs up almost. Best cream. Bag Balm's good for those type of sores.
Oh, Bag Balm. Yeah, I've heard of that before. Best cream is Hyla Topic. Your doctor can write a prescription. Absolutely amazing lotion. That's very interesting. Shea Butter. Oh yeah, I should have thought of that. Bag Balm. For Cow Udders is magical. Look at feed stores or order online. I think I've actually seen that at maybe Walgreens or
Gold Bond. Someone as well.
Gold Bond. I see
a few
too.
Gold Bonds, yeah.
I see another one for Udder Cream.
3 more Gold Bonds.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry. The whole thing with the lotion and the nervous thing, it's we're in the home stretch. It's just the mini, life is not always even keel or easy, and we're finishing up the Minikins. We're almost finished. Everything's going to be fine. I'm mentally stable. It's just, we just have this deadline that we created for ourselves.
Yep.
Which, I had some emails about it recently. Yes, we could move the deadline, but we're on track to finish according to schedule, our own deadline. So everything's fine.
Lisa, this would not work out. Is there any way to see the list of supplies for Minikins 2 before it's released? I would like to have supplies on hand once Minikins is available. Problem is, we still have 3 more videos to shoot. So who knows? Stuff until the video is actually shot. Sarah can change the pattern up to that point, and then you may have something that's not accurate.
I did have other people ask for a supply list. I'd really love to provide that, but like Danny said, we haven't filmed 3 of the videos yet. 2 of the patterns I just need to finalize. I mean, they're written and tested and all that. But I'd hate to put out a supply list and then I have to go back and say, oops, I needed to change this because I needed to fix this in the pattern. So 8 more days, as Michelle has said. Karen says, would you use soft and stable as interfacing with the faux leather, or is that too thick? So the faux leather that we sell is okay. If I was using it for the body of a bag, I would use the interfacing as called for in the pattern. If I was using it for accents or straps, I would not use interfacing like my Tudor bag. I don't know if you could grab that gray bag that was over there. Thank you. So this is just an example, and I used the faux leather in our shop for this bag. This is my Tudor bag that I made. So for the straps and accents, so the strap and the accents, I did not use any extra interfacing, and I actually cut it raw. The bottom of the bag, however, is not a strap or an accent, and I use the interfacing as called for in the pattern for the bottom of the bag. So
where'd you get lovely gray fabric from?
Bronwyn sent this to me from New Zealand.
I've never heard this before, this type lotion.
Tara says, I'm a retired nurse, and we always used to recommend Amlactin. You can get it in the drugstore or at Amazon. It turned a diabetic patient of mine's legs from alligator rough to soft as a baby. Oh, that sounds like a really good endorsement.
Yeah,
I like
right?
that.
That's why I read that. Like, wow, interesting. I've not heard of that before.
I have not heard that, so I'm going to write that down. Charlie says, you can't move the deadline because Michelle has been counting. Don't worry, we're not moving the deadline. We're on schedule to be finished. Dawn says, that's right, Charlie. Oh my gosh. Wow, I just saw that comment flicker through. Laura says, I'm ready for something other than cotton candy bags. I've made 224 now.
Holy guacamole.
I did see the other day that someone made 180, but 224. You must have those instructions memorized.
That was Laura you saw last time.
I thought it was somebody else.
I'm pretty sure it was Laura.
I thought somebody said 180.
Laura was, my memory serves right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Was the top.
Maybe I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm sure you know the pattern much better than I do.
Jeff said I was the bag dude something, and then Michelle's like, my son calls him the bag dude captain.
I like that.
I haven't made a bag, so I don't think I qualify. How'd you iron your Tudor bag?
Oh, good question. I actually didn't technically iron
Red Sox,
it.
Christina.
What's happening?
Who's going to the World Series?
Oh, okay.
I got to go with her on that.
Okay. You want to move the comment off the screen?
I thought you want to talk about the Red Sox some more, sorry.
No. So I just used, when I finished the Tudor bag, I just used my Wonder Clips on all the seams, so even the side seams too. Just left the Wonder Clips on there for a couple hours or overnight, whatever you feel like doing. Just load them up with a ton, like every couple inches, put another Wonder Clip. And the Wonder Clips will hold all the areas of the fabric and kind of give the foam like a new memory. And then when you take it off, you'll see little clippy marks for a second, but they go away. Did someone have a question about that one?
Yeah, see, it was Laura.
Oh,
someone asked
gosh. It was me. I've made more for my show this weekend. I hope your show goes really well.
Yep.
Wow.
Someone asked if we could pick one up and show it to them. So here's a cotton candy pouch.
It's 3 different sizes. This is the small one.
Can I sew? I've sewed quilt before. I've sewed something else. A pillowcase. That's all.
Do you have an inkling? Like, do you're like, oh, you know, one day I would really like to sew something?
Maybe.
Or
I think it would help if I could sew. Like if you need something done, like a prep work, interfacing on a fabric or something, something simple.
It's funny, we were really busy, was it this week or last week, when you offered to help me cut fabric out for the videos? Was that last week?
Doesn't matter.
I'm talking to you. Oh, okay.
I mean, if it was last week or the week before, is there a difference to your story?
So he offered to help me because we can't film the video. I prep all the pieces first so that I have them cut out and the interfacing and everything. And he asked me if he could help with anything and cut the fabric out. And I said no, because I'm really specific how I like things lined up, or if I'm fussy cutting, and I just like to do it myself. So maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll let you.
I may not offer ever again.
Maybe one day I'll promote you to status of fabric cutter.
I'll keep my cheap
fabric cutter outer.
Chief geek title.
Susan says, "Are the Minikins too beginner friendly?"
Aren't they 30 steps or less?
There are, I would say about half of them are really quick patterns, like the project that I showed you tonight for the convertible wallet. I think that was 16 steps. The one we filmed today, which was the sewing room stand, was 11 steps. It's back here. Let me just grab it. This one was 11 steps. Combines different interfacings, but still quick sew. And there's also some that are a little bit longer, like... Oh, I almost showed one that I was not supposed to show yet. This one's a little bit longer. This, I think, might have been 25 steps, this cell phone wallet. I tried to put a good mix in there so you still had the quick projects. For Minikin Season 1, I focused on mostly all quick projects, fat quarter friendly. Some of these are a little bit bigger projects that won't work with fat quarters, but I tried to throw a good mix in there because my thinking is if you have Minikin Season 1, you might want to take a small step up in regards to not difficulty and like a longer pattern, and so I threw maybe 2 or 3 longer patterns in there as well as the shorter ones. Pam says, "What was the name of the sewing shop in Columbus, Ohio that you got your shirt? You were too quick." Oh, sorry, it was called
So to Speak.
So to Speak, and it's in Columbus, Ohio. Michelle says, "Are you going to have the plastic templates for your Minikins too?" We will have plastic templates, not in time for Halloween, unfortunately. They are on order, and Ed and Robin are working on them right now. I'm assuming beginning of November we'll have them. So I like to think of it as enough time for you to, watch the videos or try out some of the patterns and decide which patterns you would like templates for, if that makes sense. Nana Dye says, "One day when you're a big boy, Danny, Sarah will let you help." I like that one. That's good. Jackie says, "When making a bag, do you make the entire bag from start to finish the same day, or do you complete them over several days?" Great question. My very, very most favorite thing to do is the day before or the night before I cut out the fabric and the interfacing, and that's all I do that day. So I can start off with like a clean slate and not be overwhelmed. Like, oh my gosh, I just cut fabric out for 3 hours or even more, because if it's a big project, there could be more pieces. So I can start the day fresh, begin sewing. We do normally film a video in one day, so I guess that means I can make a bag in a full day. But it's funny, before we started filming the videos, it might take me two days to make a bag or whatever. But now, Danny's watching my every move. Now I'm like, especially if he's starting to fall asleep over there in the chair, like I'm very motivated to, I would say I feel like a teeny bit stressed out to finish and keep going and just be like boom, 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 boom. But normally when I'm sewing like for leisure, I don't sew like that, no. Teresa says, "My husband once helped me cut out a quilt. I learned when I went to sew it together that his idea of precise cutting was a little loose."
It's funny you say that. When I made my quilt, I thought I was cutting it perfectly straight, and I noticed that some of them were not even. The strips.
Yeah. Michelle says, "Trevor helps me by staying away and keeping the kids away too." That's a good one too. I like that.
It had another funny one too, but it went by. Where'd it go? Oh, this section right here.
Oh, did it go on the second page?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like here it is.
Katie says, "I'd love it if my husband could help competently." That's a good one. Cindy says, "I use a hairdryer to warm up faux leathers and plastics while my husband pinches the seam. Not too hot, just warm it. He holds till it's cooled. In a minute or two, works great." Oh, that's a great idea.
Teamwork, yep.
A good job for you, too. I like that she said her husband helps her with that. Charlie says, my husband is good at having opinions about my quilts and expecting his pants to be hemmed. That's his contribution to sewing. Hemming pants. I do not like fixing things. Or the biggest thing lately is Violet has these fleece onesies, and she comes up, they're purchased from the store. I did not make them. But they'll have a hole like on her leg or, you know, on her back, and she'd be like, can you fix this? It's a hole like right through the fabric. And I'm like, I mean, I guess I could sew it, like pinch it and sew it together, but you'll have like a bump there. And she'll be like, oh, never mind.
I almost don't want to post this.
Oh, I missed the last comment.
It was a question. I answered it with another comment.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Melanie says, my hubby does the laundry and cooking while I do my sewing. So spoiled. Oh, whenever I hear...
So I knew I shouldn't have posted it.
Whenever I hear about someone's husband making dinner or their husband's a great chef, I'm like, oh gosh, that would be so great. I mean, I don't mind cooking, but sometimes when I'm busy, I'm like, oh, it's such a chore, you know?
I have no problem going out and getting food from anywhere for her.
I know we do. I just try to minimize eating out because
going out, yeah.
Oftentimes eating out is not the healthiest option, and it's also expensive. Cheryl says, will you have templates for the filigree bag? Not this year, but it'll be on our next set of templates. We still have 3 more templates coming in before the Minikins, the airplane bag, the Kismet trinket boxes, and there was one more, the Creative Maker supply case. But filigree will be right up there. Maybe we can get it in before the end of the year. I'll see. What the situation is.
Did we do a behind the scenes?
Claire says, could you give us a behind-the-scenes tour of your setup for recording?
Was it how you make the pattern? Or I can't remember. We did something.
I think near the beginning of the year, we did a video on my process for designing patterns from start to finish. So, like, sketching the project out, what software I use. I'll have to try to find that because I don't think we posted it as a separate video. I think it was on one of our Ask Sara shows. Excuse me. It might have been from February. I'm not sure. What else? But as far as our studio right now, our room's what, 11 by 11?
Close.
Here, so my half is this, what you see behind me, and right in front of this table that we have is Danny's half of the room.
Yeah, it's from that wall to here is about 6 feet. Then from here to the wall in front of us is 6 feet, and then we split it.
Danny's computer's right there.
Yep.
We have our camera and lights. We have another TV, so when I'm reading the questions, I'm reading off the TV we actually have in front of us. It's kind of crammed in here. We have a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, for sure. My husband cooks dinner at night. I time bath perfectly.
Bronwyn says, my husband cooks dinner every night. I time a bath perfectly. Only come out when I smell dinner cooking. If I miss the time, if I mistime it, I'm asked to help.
Yeah.
That's funny. Some of these are really funny looking through these. I see Amber said Instant Pot. I love using my Instant Pot.
I use it today.
I made chicken noodle soup today in the Instant Pot. I love it. It's great. You see any?
A lot of comments. I don't see too many.
Oh, okay, I see. That's a good question. Kim says, which bag are you doing a video for, the Kennedy or Coalition bag? So Danny's plan was as soon as we finish the Minikin Season 2 videos, we're going to keep up with that same pace and just film the Kennedy bag right away. So that'll be shortly at, what would you say, middle of November, beginning of November? Yes? Okay. Really soon, the Kennedy bag video will be out. And that's a free pattern, so it'll be a free video as well.
I like Cheryl.
Cheryl says Danny is good at other things besides cooking. Yeah. Well, for one, all the technology, I could not wrap my head around all this, the filming and the technology we use for the live shows. So good job in that. He's also the best when the kids get sick and they usually ask for him because I try my best to be patient, but when, they're crying or something's not right, it's really, I don't know why. It's difficult for me to manage, and Danny's right in there. He's really good about taking them to the doctor, calling the doctor. He runs out and gets whatever they need. If they ask for Gatorade or they need more tissues, he runs out real quick for that. So he stays up with them if they're up at night. real good about that too. Hope says, is Danny dressing up for Halloween also?
Yeah, I didn't purchase it yet, but I was going to. My son's dressing up as a character from a cartoon / anime. It's called Naruto, and I was gonna make a character with that is in the same show, so we'd be like together as characters. Cat's on the bag for my costume.
Oh.
Can you use flannel for bags?
Flannel for bags. I have seen people use flannel for bags.
Like the hobo purse would be a good idea, like something slouchy bag.
Oh yeah.
I guess any bag could be a slouchy bag, right?
Yeah, that's true. I have seen people use flannel for bags, so yes. I have not personally used it, but I have seen it done. Lily says, how do you suggest on starting out collecting solids? That's a good question. Sometimes, well, when I first started collecting solid fabrics, there were some quilt shops that offered like club programs, like monthly shipments. Like for example, in January, all the fat quarters in that month's bundle were all shades of green. Then the next month would be shades of orange, that kind of thing. Shops also sell, for instance, like Kona solids packs where you get a range of different fat quarters in the packs. Lately, I've been on a real kick with the Moda Grunge solids and the Moda Grunge polka dots. So, like, I think I use them in a bunch of Minikin's patterns for the linings. Like, this bag I have in front of me. So this is an example of Moda Grunge solid. So it's got a bunch of texture, and I bought a lot of color. So it was really easy for me to, match this exterior fabric with one of the Moda Grunge fabrics. And because they have other shades of fabric, in addition, it's not just like a solid fabric. It's easier, I feel.
I think that should have been your go-to blender.
The grunge solids.
Yes.
I think
it's all over. Just look.
I'd really like to work on a quilt at the end of the year, and I think I'm going to use the grunge solids for a quilt.
Oh, someone asked about a slow cooker and that pot you used, whatever, Instapot. What's the difference? Is it a slow cooker? It's like a pressurized slow cooker. Right?
Yes, I believe it. I've not used it for slow cooking, but I believe it does both. I already had a previous slow cooker, but it's a pressure. It's basically a digital pressure cooker. I really only use the pressure cooking option. There's other options for like soup, or I think there's rice, all sorts of different things. I just use the manual setting and set my timer on it and all that. Sonia says, sewing the darts with the foam can get tricky. Is there a hint to make it easier? So I saw a really good suggestion in the Facebook book group recently, and it was a suggestion with photos also. I have the worst memory, but I believe the suggestion was to sew the inside and the outside of the dart line using 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then when you go to sew your seam allowance, say if you're using 1/4 of an inch seam allowance or sewing... No, that wasn't it. Because if you were sewing on the dart line, it must have been to sew to the inside of the dart line just to stabilize that area. I have to go back and check. I'm sorry. I don't remember the exact suggestion for that. It was a really good one, though, in the Facebook group. Bronwyn said, plus my husband is retired, so I'm helping out by keeping him occupied. I really should be thanked. I like that.
She's always looking out for her husband.
Oh, I see that question. That's a good one. Charlene says, where did you order your Teflon foot for your Juki? So I just got a generic foot. I saw Nikki Reinhardt emailed me the other day, and she was looking for a Teflon foot for her Juki, and I think the one she found was over $100. And I told her that I found mine on eBay. I just did a search on eBay for Teflon foot and then the model of my sewing machine. And then a bunch of generic options came up, and I think mine was like $10 with free shipping, or it was really cheap. And it's been fine. I have not noticed a problem with having a generic version of my foot. Terry says, have you ever used your buttons of the month on your bags? I would love to see a bag covered in buttons. That's my goal when Minikins 2 comes out, to sort of experiment a little bit with using some of the patterns with different things like the buttons or like a quilt block on the front of the pouch. So I'm really looking forward to trying out different things, including using some of the buttons that I have. Donna says, sew right on the dart line, then put them together and sew to the inside of the dart line. Thanks for jumping in with that. Sorry, sometimes my mind is a blank with some of the live questions. Doreen says, I think the tip was to sew a line down the middle of the dart first. Oh, the middle of the dart. That sounds good too. Yep. So to the inside of the dart and to the middle. Darts, there's a PDF with pictures on the Facebook page. Can be downloaded for later use, step-by-step instructions. Okay, good. Thank you guys for jumping in with that. Is that it for the questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This has been Ask Sara. Thank you so much for joining me and asking your questions live. We'll be showing one more sneak peek this Sunday for Minikin Season 2. Hopefully we'll have the trailer video finished by then. What do you think about that? Possible 50-50 chance?
What?
Did you hear what I said or no? Maybe?
I don't want to be stuck to an answer.
All right. We'll either show you that trailer video this Sunday or we've for sure got to have it done on Tuesday. So either one. All right. So have a great rest of the week. We'll see you again next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time and have a great time sewing. Bye everybody.
Everyone.